Hello! I wanted to take a moment to introduce Luna. She is the newest piggy in our herd. Luna is estimated to be between 3 and 4 years and comes from a loving family. She lived next to her cage mate because they didn't get along, so we were a bit nervous about this introduction. Now I want to talk a little bit about the introduction process. The first step for a successful introduction is to quarantine the new piggy. This allows for both you to identify potential illness while also developing a bond with the new piggy. It's recommended about 2 weeks, give or take, depending on your situation. I found that after quarantine, but before the introduction, something that often helps is to take a hidey or a cuddle sack or something from each of the cages and swap so that the pigs can become familiar with the new smells. This lessens the intensity of the introduction. Now let's discuss the introductions. Pick a large area where the pigs do not typically spend time. Place veggies or hay within the area. Multiple piles are good, especially if a pig appears to be territorial. We used a room that the guinea pigs have not spent any time in and created a CNC grid barrier to allow a safe space. No cords, no electrical extensions, nothing for the guinea pigs to chew on but the hay and veggies. Paige is a pretty docile guinea pig. She's for the most part a happy gal just trying to get along and mind her own business. We weren't too worried about the introductions because we assumed that Luna would probably be the dominant pig and Paige would just accept that without any issues. Here is an example of the nose game. The two are trying to figure out who can hold their nose the highest. Whoever holds their nose the highest wins the dominant round. At the beginning, Luna spent a lot of time teeth chattering. It was fairly clear that Paige wasn't super impressed by it all. At one point, she lunges at Luna. It's a good idea to have towels or a hidey nearby in case a fight does break out and you need to separate them immediately. You will get bit if you just stick your hand in the middle of them. However, as you can see, there was one lunge and then things actually calmed down a lot after that between the two, so we continued moving forward with the introductions. Here you can see Luna teeth chattering in Molly's ear. Molly was very obviously not amused by this, but she was way too distracted by all the veggies in the room to care. This goes on for a little bit, and then Molly finishes the veggies. Conflict between Molly and Luna was not quite as cut and dry as Paige and Luna. Molly was not about to give up her spot on the top, which didn't come as much of a surprise to us. The real question was Luna willing to be second in command? Things got rough fast. Here you will see an example of Molly essentially barbering Luna. She caught her by the tuft of fur and literally pulls it out. It's not pretty, but it's not the end of the world. Luna's fine after that, and this was a great opportunity for Molly to show that she's the boss. I am sure there are a lot of people that would argue that introduction should have ended right then and there. I'm sure there are a lot of cases where things only escalate from that point. But we read the cues and the points of the guinea pigs, and we still felt confident that there was potential. No blood was drawn. Luna was obviously not seriously injured. She survived just fine from that. So we decided to proceed. During introductions, one of us stayed to supervise and the other one went and cleaned the guinea pig cage. This way we could make sure that everything was as neutral as possible so that Molly in particular would not feel territorial against Luna. And then things started to calm down and we proceeded to move them into their new cage. I do want to note that when we move the guinea pigs into their cage, it's not uncommon for their dominance behaviors to be reenacted. This often happens because they have to reestablish the hierarchy on their new surroundings. There was some rumble strutting and definitely a lot of chasing that occurred once they went back in the cage, but ultimately, everyone learned how to live happily together. I do want to make a note that these are sows, not boars. When you have two boars that live together peacefully, I should note that introducing a third likely doesn't end well. Typically what happens is that the two that already were living peacefully will reestablish the hierarchy with the new one. This tends to often cause fighting, and sometimes it doesn't stop, and you end up with 3 lone pigs. Sows are more likely to get along and less likely to have to reestablish the hierarchy, but knowing their personalities is what's most important. We knew Molly was going to be the dominant pig, but the question was how much was Luna willing to sacrifice? And because Paige is so docile and laid back, and we didn't have to worry about her, that helped a lot with the dynamic as well. We are also excited to share that Luna loves floor time almost as much as Paige. The two have zoomies together and sprints around the floor, chasing, playing tag, whatever it is they're doing. And Luna loves exploring. She goes in and out the different hideys, she loves the tunnels. It's very clear that she enjoys the time away from the cage. It wasn't easy, but I'd say this was a successful introduction.